Pedikid base. Rak, it is only. But even though there's Sachakel 22 letters, Shabruim is Chakel Mineim Beklolos or Bepratus. We know that the creations are separate from one another in general. What's the division of separation in the creations in general? Yeah, what is the general reason why creation is separated? Two things we know so far. Number one, the Midas. Some creations come from Chesed, some creations come from Gevurah, some creations come from Teferes. Number two, the Oisius. The Oisius are going to affect, this is going to be Mayim, this is going to be Rakia, this is going to be Oid and so forth, right? But now the Rebbe adds a third in, Ubepratus. In addition to the diversification of creations based on the different Midas, and the diversification of different creations based on different Oisius, the diversification of the different creations, through the various distinguishing formations and replacements and exchanges, as we discussed earlier. Because every letter brings down a unique life and energy that is distinct to itself, and later on the Rebbe is going to say it has to do with the Gashmizik shape as well. And when you bring together various letters to create a word, so first of all, I hope you know this by now, that the key letter of every word is the Reish HaTeva, the Rosh Tevis, right? Rosh Tevis is a big deal in Kabbalah. In Samavav it says that actually all the oisis of a word, your name is Yankiv, your ayin, kuf and beis come from your yud. Your ikir ois of chayis is yud. The ayin, the kuf and the beis come from the yud through ariba chilufim and tmuras. It's the ikir is the first letter. But now we add nachazach. Ozai, so then, in addition to the various different types of energy and life, which is brought down based on the number of letters in a particular word. There's something even above that. And that is bringing down a higher power and a general life that is inclusive and weighs the same amount, is equal to. Against all of the different faculties and lives that are individual, of the letters. And it's above them, it's transcendent relative to them. And it unifies them, and it fixes them together to create one word, lashpia, to give a flow of one energy and one form of life, to the created world, through this world, l'klale in general, u'leprate and in particular. In addition to the diversification of midas, the diversification of oisius, you have the diversification of tzirufim. What's tzirufim? Many letters making up a word. And he adds the idea of eir ha'eila al kulan. When you have a light which is above all, what does that mean? You have, let's say, Aleph, Beis, Reish, Hey, Mem creates Avraham. So you have the Chayes of the Aleph, the Chayes of the Beis, the Chayes of the Rei. Then you have the Chayes of the unifying force, which is even a higher force, which makes them into a unique, different energy, which gives Chayes to a creation which was made from those Isis. And it seems to me that the meaning of the word L'klali or L'prate means as follows. You have the word Avraham, let's say, for example, right? You have the Chayes of the whole word Avraham. But then you have the chayas of Hawar, and the word Avram, you have, for example, an Aleph. And the chayas of the word Avram, you have, for example, a Beis. And the chayas of the word Avram, you have, for example, a Reish. Kegain derech mashal, like way for example. I know I will get it back later. It says in the Chumash that Hashem said here there should be a heaven. It didn't create one heaven, it created Zayin Rakiyah, 7 heavens. And the Rebbe brings a footnote that there's a machlokes in the Gemara, Abiyechan and Rishlakish with somebody else, if there's 2 heavens or 7 heavens. But the Rebbe says that there's no machlokes. The only chilik is only whether we're able to identify 2 or 7, but Kula Amalei Pligi, there's more than 1, and in fact there's 7. And the Alter Rebbe gives you a arichas godel about the functions of these heavens, and the Rebbe has a footnote explaining which details the Alter Rebbe brings, and which details the Alter Rebbe leaves out. V'chol tzva shamayim, and all the hosts of heaven asher bohem, that are included in these 7 heavens. Kemayim and Azal, the Gemara says in Chagiga, there's a heaven called Shchakim. There's a heaven called Shchakim, which is a mill that grinds man for the tzaddikim. Zavol, there's a heaven called Zavol, which has the Yerushalayim and the Beis Hamikdash and the Mizbech, and Karbanas Machal is busy over there. There's a heaven called Machim, where Hashem keeps the treasury of snow and ice and hail and so forth. Now there are 4 more heavens which the Alter Rebbe does not mention, and the Rebbe in his footnotes wonders why these 3 mentions, those he doesn't mention. Sheklolos harakim, that the heavens in general, nivru v'chayim v'kayamim b'klolos, are created and given life and existence in general. From Teves, Elosh, and these two words create all of the heavens. But somehow it also provides impetus for the individual creations within the seven heavens. That nivra kol prat mehem, each individual heaven and each individual creation within those heavens. V'chai v'kayam, and it lives and it exists. Me'ez et tzid of esis miteves elu, from some kind of formation of letters within these words. In other words, like I said to you before, there's the Eira El Kolana of Rakia, which creates the whole system. And then there may be the letter Reish alone, the letter Kuf alone, which is going to create an individual heaven. Alternatively, the replacement and exchanges, which provide a particular measured life according to the individual creation that it's creating. Anytime you change the formation, it's a grafting together of a unique combination. And a weaving together of the faculties and vitalities, with a distinct idea. Bishini with a distinction, Shekol Eis HaKedemis, B'tzid, of any earlier letter in the formation, He HaGeveres is prominent, it's the priority, B'briyazu in this creation. V'shar Tfeilas Len, all the others are secondary to it, V'nechlos B'edan are included in its light, and in Samach Vov it says that they come from its light. V'idei as a consequence, Nivraz B'eri Chadosh, it creates a new creation. So when you take a letter, and simply take a word, and change the tziduf, right? Instead of Avraham, you make Ever Ma, for example. Or the whole bunch of different ways that Abraham is reconstructed. The change in the tziduf creates a new creation. Moreover, by replacing the letters according to the mystical formulae of Chilufim and Tmunos of Asius, Nevrois, Briyas, Chadoshes, it creates a whole different diversity of creations, Pchusi Amal, that on a lower level, Be'erech HaNevroim, in comparison to the letters, creations that are Mia Asius Atzman, they come from the letters themselves. So the Eibusha says Yehirakia. Yehirakia creates a general creation. The Asius Yehirakia, by changing the order of those letters themselves, is going to create various Rikia. By replacing those letters with different letters, it's going to create various other things. So the way you have to look at it is like this. The original Isis Yehirakia is the highest tziduf and creates the most potent creations. Changing the tziduf, same letters, the changing the tziduf is lesser creations. Chelufim and Tmuras is going to create lesser creations still. So you have enormous diversity, and as you're putting it, different levels. You have the division of creations do with the midas themselves. Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. You have the division of creations do with the Oisius of the Asara Amaras themselves. Then you have the diversification further from the Shinoi Tzirufim, taking those original letters and changing the form, the order of the letters, and then the Chilufim Mutmuras. And the Rebbe says in the Haggadah how this connects even to the physical shape of physical Asias. I'm going back to the Haggadah now. Since each one of the Hebrew letters of the Hebrew alphabet, is a different life and energy, which is distinct, which is not brought down in the second letter. And I want to repeat again what I said to you yesterday's Shiyah, that the difference, the Oisius themselves have their own energy, not just the way they're filtering the energy of the Midas. Also their shape in writing is called each letter is in a distinct form, which indicates on the particular form of what is brought down and revealed in light and life and energy. This is where you have the three terms, Er, Chayes, and Kech. Usually you have either Er and Kech or Chayes and Kech. It's one of the only places in Tanya you have Er, Chayes, and Kech, which is the source of a whole Shturim the Gesugin Chsidus. Haniglu, which is revealed, V'nimshach, and is brought down by Eizu in this particular letter. Eich Nimshach, how it's brought down, V'nizgala, and revealed, Mi Mideta Shal HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from the Midas of the Eibishter, which is Zayin Midas, or Tzedek V'chachmasi V'chuli, which goes on Ratzon and Chabad. So the Oisius themselves create, first of all, they come from the Sfiris, then each one has a different shape, and then of course there's the Tziduf, and then of course there's Chilufim and the Tmuras. So what we added today, over yesterday, is that not only is there the diversification of the Midas, and not only is there the diversification of the Oisius, there is diversification within Oisius themselves. First of all, Shinu Tziduf, reconstructing the order of the letters, and then Chilufim and Tmuras.